You live from Long Island, New York. Gave you an extra long today. I still got a little Malamar on my chin. Very yummy, these Malamars. Without the Malamars, I don't know what I would have done the last 2 days. I haven't had Malamars since I was a kid. No kidding, really. Probably more years than you are old, many of you. But I happened to be in the supermarket the other day and I saw them. I said, Malamars, that would be a real treat. So I bought a rather large box of Malamars that's still made by Nabisco. And when Geron, actually last night before we got the word that Geron was being abandoned by Janssen, I felt very negative and very much like that was going to happen. So I had almost a whole box of Malamars and milk, and that kind of got me through the night. And I came home after being out all day, and what did I do? I went had a light dinner, and I finished off the Malamars. So I have to write Nabisco a letter of thanks for being there in my time of need. Okay, so I hope you guys had your comfort food, whatever it took to get you through it if you were long on Geron. I refuse to congratulate the shorts because I'm a sore loser. In any event, it didn't feel good. It's a sting that it's going to take me a while to get over. It was the largest holding in my biotech portfolio. In any event, I have other great stocks that all went up today, and thank goodness for them. I'm not giving up on Geron. I said earlier in the day in a special Geron report or vlog that I sold just 5% of it and am going to hold. I'll talk more about Geron when we look at the charts. I have 8 companies, the same 8 companies from yesterday, that I want to take a quick look at the charts and make little comments here or there where I deem it appropriate. Okay, as always, do your own due diligence, consult with an investment advisor. Don't follow me unless you want to lose half your money on Geron. No, I'm just kidding. Dr. J does have some very good ideas some of the times, but follow me at your own risk. And what more do I need to say? Please subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about this channel. Share the link. Hit the like button. Write comments. Do all those things for Dr. J. The more of you that turn out to say hi, the quicker I'll forget about my stinging loss on Geron. And in retrospect, it's easy to say I should have known better. But you can't turn the clock back. All right, so here we go. Let's look at the, come on. Let's look at the quick look at the charts because I'm broadcasting rather late in the day. It's 8 o'clock. So let's share screen. I want to say hi to the viewers that are on live with me. Thanks for showing up. I can see your, I guess I can't see your comments anymore. Yes, I can. Yeah, I can. So if I just happen to notice it, I will read it. Okay, so we're screen sharing now. I think as soon as I minimize, I won't be able to see it. That's the problem. Okay, so let's take a look at, from left to right, no particular order, actinium. This one was down on the day, but not very much. It was down, well, 3% is 3%. After hours up a little bit, but it's been going very nicely. It's true to its channel. And if it stays true to this channel, we have a nice rise ahead of us. I said the other day, I do believe it's going to take out new high that it just made the other day. Did it make a new high? Yeah, I think so. What did it trade at this day? 86.5 pennies. So it took out the 85 cents a few days, 2 days ago. I think it'll go higher than that. I think it'll take out $1.33. I think it's going to go up about 50 cents from or more from here. So this is a bold prediction on my part, but I think there's a lot of good things behind it, including fundamentals as well as technicals. So a lot of you know the fundamentals better than me. I know that just the other day there was a conference call where Sandesh Seth, the CEO of Actinium Pharmaceuticals, talked about a new initiative, a new addition to the pipeline, a CAR-T drug. That's in addition to the Actimab A and Iomab B. I hope I have it right. Those are, again, the drugs that prepare patients for bone marrow transplants. So it's an exciting company with drugs that were initially developed by Sloan Kettering doctors, and I believe they owned a big chunk of it when it was first spun off as a company. Now let's take a look at adxs. Adxs had an offering at around $1.20 and collapsed off of that offering price into the 80-cent area. Today it's up 4 cents to 94 cents, or 4.44%. I like that, 4.44, a lot of fours. I said the other day that I believe it will follow this trend line up and take out the $1.15 and then take out the $1.20. And I'm very high on adxs. I like the new chairman. He has a lot of energy, Kenneth Berlin. The drugs are listeria-based immunotherapy drugs. Again, the exact mechanism of action, I'm not sure, but it's in that CAR-T family. So it generates an immune response, and there's some kind of a vector that they use to target the tumors. Again, I'm not that well versed on the fundamentals of the drugs, but I do know that they're now at least solvent for the next, probably the rest of the year at least, and are looking for partners to take the brunt of some of the trials that they're in. They have 5 trials, 4 of them with prominent big pharma, and they have licensing agreements with a bunch of other little companies. I think we mentioned the big pharma that they're involved with. It's quite an impressive list. Merck's Keytruda, Bristol Myers Squibb's Opdivo, AstraZeneca's PD-1 drug that's still in clinical trials, I believe. And what's the 4th one? Not sure what the 4th one is, but I'm blanking on that. But I believe there's one more big pharma drug. So they have 5 very, very advanced trials, and as well as a bunch of licensing deals. I think this is a very interesting stock with an extremely low market cap, low share price. I think that it will move back up to the 120 area. That's you heard it here on Dr. J at 11. CVM, I got to credit Godfather Fraser. You had this one right. You said, Dr. J, why hurry to get rid of this one? It had room to run. And it certainly does. A very impressive move today, hitting the upper trend line, which is a very steep trend line. So we're back at that trend line. If we can continue to rise at that rate, then it's still going up like a rocket ship. So I don't know if it will, but it's phenomenal phenomenal story if it does. Don't forget, it was down here in the 70 cent level, I believe. So let's see, where was it actually? Lower today here was 83 cents. Very low. So it rocketed from 80 cents to $4.16 from about the beginning of July, August, September, 3 months. So this is a tremendous, and one of the months was spent forming a base. So this is a tremendous move, really a parabolic type move, an exponential type move. It's a phenomenal move. And if it continues going at this pace, it's a $10 stock in no time. I don't believe it will, but it could, especially if you get good positive news on the head and neck squamous cell cancer trials. So CVM is an exciting stock to own. It's in zoom mode. Geron. Geron was my favorite. I have to admit it, I had it wrong, at least so far. Telomerase is the enzyme that the body produces to make the telomeres in the cell grow, which is your tail of the cell. Without the tail of the cell, the cell cannot divide. If the cell tail is too short, it dies. The idea of a telomerase inhibitor was to prevent the cell from duplicating, and hence the cancer cells from duplicating, and hence kill them. Well, it seemed to work fine in the Mayo Clinic, but it wasn't reproduced in trials by Janssen in myeloid fibrosis, MF. The results in MDS were very encouraging, however, but not good enough for Janssen to continue the trials. So at this point, Geron is continuing it on their own at a new price level down here. It closed at 231, off 63%. It's hard for me to say that without choking. The high of the day, let's see, the high of the day was 240, low of the day was 150. I kind of drew the long-term trend line, and sure enough, the close was right on that trend line, and the open was right on its lower trend line. So I expect we'll see a lot of filling in, and probably a downward movement over the next week, 2 or 3 for Geron, until we come to close to mid-October, when I expect it might gain some traction with news, start moving up to the $3 level. So I see a rebound by the end of the year to the $3 level. So I sold 5% of my stock. I wish I had sold, no, not that I wish I had sold more, but I'm redeploying that into other biotechs like adxs, like actinium, maybe CVM, maybe ANCs, maybe some more cytk. Which, let's take a look at these two. ANCs, OncoSec Medical, we can't say enough about, with the new CEO Dan O'Connor at the helm. He's been a phenomenal CEO, first of adxs, and I think before that with another little biotech. He has a proven track record of success, and OncoSec that has some pretty good data to show off in its collaboration with Merck on a melanoma drug. So its melanoma drug converts non-responders of Keytruda into responders at a certain rate, maybe as much as 70%. Or I think if there's 40% normally, there might be 70% after being treated with OncoSec's drug. I think it's called, probably have it wrong, it's probably, I think it's called IL-2, interleukin-2, Hope I have it right. There's a couple of drugs that they're looking at in trials. This one is, I think, a phase 2 trial. Anyway, data is expected shortly, and that's the most exciting one to me because I think the data was pretty good looking earlier. So it would be follow-up data would confirm that it's doing its job and doing what it's supposed to be doing, which would be very appealing to Merck, I'm sure. So this one has potential. Cytokinetics, and its chart is very, very strong, piercing its upper end of the trend line, coming back down a little. It might play a little bit up and down between 133 and the 140s before it breaks out again. So I expect maybe not a big move just yet, probably waiting on data, positive data. It's going to get to the $2 level probably by at least the $2 level by the beginning of November. So I see good things ahead for OncoSec Medical potentially. And cytokinetics is it's a secretive stock. Nobody ever heard of it. But yet, it's a phenomenal little stock. It has a lot of potential. It has a partnership with Amgen, I believe. I hope it's Amgen. It's hard for me to remember all these partnerships on a heart failure drug. And it also is in the neurodegenerative disease area. It has drugs that affect the muscles. And the heart, of course, is a muscle. Look at this trend line. It's phenomenal growth story. Today, it hit a 980 it closed at, closing at the high of the day. High of the day was 998. It closed at 980, up 5.38%. And it has to take out the $10 mark over here, and then it'll quickly take out the 10.25 that was set back in January. And after that, I think the sky is the limit. It'll quickly rise to the $10.80, $11 area, and hopefully up and away. This is a nice chart. It has traded much higher, as high as $16. I think with any kind of positive data, we'll be back challenging the highs of the year at 15 and change. Okay, so I'm very bullish on all of these stocks. Did we look at Apple? Let's just look at Apple. Apple has been a phenomenal little stock for the last 40 years. But more recently, it's been behaving very nice. It's in a very nice channel between two ascending lines. You couldn't ask for anything more, right? It's either going to go up or it's going to go up. You have a choice, up or up. I'll take up. So I think that Apple is really moving. I think it will definitely take out, well, not definitely, but more than likely take out the old high of the year. And I suggested a trade back here to go in at the open, which would have been at 216.6. What was the open that day? 216.82. And at this point, I would have suggested taking your profit, perhaps, because it hit the trend line at around 225. If you didn't take your profit, there's different ways to play it. You can just let yourself get stopped out at the lower trend line, or you could wait for the RSI to get into overbought condition, or you could hope. You could just kind of watch it. If it goes above this trend line, you might look for a pullback to that trend line. Or you might just let the 50-day take care of it. If it hits the 50-day average, you sell. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways to play Apple, but you can trade it. You can put it in your pocket and forget you have it. Apple is the most phenomenal stock, and they make the most phenomenal cell phones. My wife just got hers, the XS. I ordered mine, the XS Max, and I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. Okay, so that's where we are. I'm going to stop screen sharing. And please subscribe to the channel. Please tell your friends about us. Please hit the like button. Please write a comment. I will try to answer. Please forgive me if I'm not smiling as much as I normally do, but it was a little bit difficult in terms of Geron for Dr. J today. I'm going to go back to the camera just to say bye. I'm going to say bye. I'm going to say adios, amigos. I'm going to say muchas gracias. I'm going to say au revoir. I'm going to say ciao. See you all tomorrow. Bye.